Hello everybody, and welcome to this first microeconomic video on the basic economic problem. Now, if you look to the left of our screen here in necessary resources, it shows that we have two types of resources. We have needs and we have wants. Needs are resources that as human beings we require in order to survive from day to day. So they include things such as shelter, food and water and clothing. We need them in order to live. However, wants, on the other hand, these are resources which we do not necessarily require to survive. We don't need them to live day after day after day, but we'd quite like to have them anyway. We desire them. They make life easier, they make life more comfortable, and they make life more enjoyable. So we'd like to have them. They'd be quite nice. So they include things such as phones and TVs. Now our next point there, just sticking out on its own, is that there are a limited amount of resources on Earth. And this is true. There is a limited amount of resources on Earth. So for example, once oil is gone, it's gone. There's only a limited amount of it. There's only a set amount of supply of it. So on the right hand side of the screen now, our basic economic problem. The basic economic problem is that resources are scarce and finite. So as I just mentioned, there is a limited amount of them. There is a limited amount of resources. But wants are infinite. So our desire to have all those things such as phones and TVs that make life easier and more enjoyable, our want to have them is infinite. We would have as many of them as possible if we could. So our basic economic problem is that resources are scarce and finite or limited, but wants are infinite. And this is sometimes phrased as a question, oddly enough, known as the basic economic question. So the basic economic question is, how do we cater for infinite wants with finite resources? So how do we cater for our infinite desire to have all these things such as phones and TVs when we only have a limited amount of resources? So just to sum up, the basic economic problem is that resources are scarce but wants are infinite. And the basic economic question is, how do we cater for infinite wants with only finite resources?